Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel. My name's Star and I'm an angelic communicator and clairvoyant. I do a lot of work on talking about the twin flame journey and our new paradigms for love based on the Venusian Venus teachings of love and the Hathors and bringing more love into the new earth. I want to talk today to you, Divine Feminine. If you're on a twin flame journey, then this is a message for you because you're probably very empathic, you're probably a healer, you're probably spiritually awake, and the Divine Feminines and the masculines who are working with twin flame energy are often doing a huge amount of inner work. That's kind of what this journey is about, the inner work, like being activated by your twin and then having them as a sacred mirror so that you can understand in this twin flame journey what you need to heal in yourself. And what I want to say here is what can also come up on the twin flame journey is when you start feeling the empathic connection with your twin, where you're feeling their feelings, where you're in a telepathic link with them and you're having that connection with the thoughts, that sometimes you can feel very, very drained by your twin. Sometimes you feel very uplifted by your twin, but usually this is in separation. You will begin to feel like your energy is being pulled, like you might feel confused, energetically pulled towards them, thinking about them a lot, which is kind of natural, but also carrying the weight of emotions that they refuse to face. Now, I noticed this that because I'm an empath, I've written a book on spiritual empathy, I'm kind of really aware that when something is mine and something is not. And I notice that my twin comes in a particular way that I can then end up feeling like it's my energy. I can feel tired, I can feel confused, and I'd be like, why am I feeling this way? Like my life's kind of sorted. Why am I feeling this way? Is it another layer I have to heal? Da 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 da. I'll look at all the reasons why. And then I got into the process of going, is this my twin's energy? And 9 times out of 10, it was a yes. And I was told when I looked into this with the Angelic Council of Light, it was the weight of emotions that my twin refuses to face. So let's breathe that in for a moment because that's a big one. Let's inhale and exhale and do a talk about it. Because if you're feeling your twin's energy, what are they feeling? Your twin flame is like your mirror, and they reflect your soul, your shadows, your strength, but you are their mirror, not their mother. You're here to embody the qualities that you have within you, to rise in your power and to begin to heal any wounds you have within you. Any wounds, actually, there's a collective healing as you do that, and to step into your power and begin your soul mission. You are not here to carry your twin's trauma. You are not here emotionally to babysit a soul who isn't willing to respond, to rise, to feel their emotions, and to respond and act on them accordingly. Now, we have seen this in the collective where the feminine often does a lot of emotional laboring for the masculine energy. We see this all the time. And what we have the result of is that the masculine energy often feels very disconnected emotionally from their own feelings. We've got here somehow, and those feelings don't go anywhere. Those feelings float around as astral energy in the energy field where they're suppressing. They go on other people, usually empaths, who then process that emotion for them. This is why we end up in like narcissist empath dynamics, and where one person is completely emotionally disconnected and the other person is overly overwhelmed with processing emotion. Okay, perfect connect, isn't it, really? One person who has a lot of emotion but can't feel it, and the other person who has quite clean emotions but is constantly able to process emotion. Perfect match. So, how can I say this to you more clearly? Like, as your twin, if you look at them, let's imagine they're just sitting next to you right now, and you see them going through all the stuff they're going through, and you're thinking, oh, okay, they're going through a lot of emotions. Maybe I can help them. It's a very natural thing to think. It is your twin, after all. You're like, how can I help them? But they're not really saying to you, how can they help you, are they? Often they are disturbing your peace very intensely. They're behaving in a way that is quite sometimes abusive, outrageous, breadcrumbing, ghosting, not responding, not offering you respect, not offering, all the things that we see badly behaved twins doing. But there needs to be a way of saying, okay, I'm not going to do the emotional labor for you. I'm not going to hold space while you avoid your growth. And I'm not going to allow you to siphon, drain, or pull on my energy without my consent. This is a time to recenter yourself and re kind of recalibrate yourself. Because I'm going to throw in something else here. Before you met your twin, before you knew they existed, your twin may have been drawing on your energy your whole life. And the reason I say this is because I had a lot of issues in particular areas. And when I asked the Angelic Council of Light and other guides that I was working with, other people who were incredible healers, they told me about a parallel life which was affecting this life. And if you're into parallel lives, it gets really interesting how you can be having other lifetimes happening. And I think this is the dynamics of twins as well, that you happen to be coming into contact in one lifetime, which is unusual, but you're having parallel lives. So this situation here is affecting me. And one of the reasons you can come back into connection with your twin as an awakening point is to put that right. And I remember having this very vivid request to say, if that parallel life is causing me a problem in this life, I need to heal it. I need to either disconnect or I need to heal it. So then I met my twin, interestingly. I didn't realize it at the time, but as time's gone on, it makes a lot of sense. So I want to talk here about something that is a very touchy subject, but let's just be clear with one another that even in sacred connections, like your twin flame connection, energy vampirism can happen, meaning that it's not really out of malice. I don't think they even know they're doing it, but it can be out of immaturity, fear, unhealed pain, that they have disconnected their emotions, that the twin flame, usually the matrix twin and the masculine twin, cannot process their emotions. They are so disconnected, they can't actually feel them. And they are unconsciously reaching for your light, your stability, your healing frequency as a substitute for doing their inner work. Now, if we're doing this twin flame journey really right, they will be being activated too. But when they then come back for more juicy energy to, suck off you, it's really good to know, okay, that's not my energy. Does my twin actually need my help and an activation, or are they just being like childlike and they don't want to do the work? Now, I'm assuming that most of you, the twin, are grown-up men. And I would just want to say here that if grown-up men can go to work, can earn the money, can buy a phone, play with that, get a credit card, whatever they need to do, they can also process their own emotions. And by doing that for them, you're kind of reducing their power. If they do not connect with their emotions, and emotions are power, it's their astral energy, it's how they will really know who they are in this life. If you're doing that for them, they will never grow up. They will never be able to move beyond patriarchal control. They will never be able to free themselves from the matrix. The reason the feminine can do this is because, yes, we're more spiritually behead, but also because we've done the work. We've done the inner work that's required to clean up our energy so that we are not vampiring off other people. We are actually standing in our own power. And there will be degrees of that. Nobody's perfect, but what I think the feminine really does is best to meet that place. So, if you're highly empathic and spiritually open, you might feel these symptoms. You might feel suddenly exhausted. You might feel random waves of anxiety or sadness, and you might have dreams where they're trying to contact, merge, or connect with you. Often, I've noticed when there is a period of separation and you've decided, I'm done with that person, and you put up an energetic boundary, they then come back in. A psychic tug on your heart or your gut. Sometimes you're feeling their pain so much, you're like, are they dead? I went through a period, it was like I hadn't heard from them, I've been ghosted, and I began to wonder, are they dead? Have they just died? Because the pain was so great. I thought, are they having a heart attack? And that made me want to contact them and just check they're okay. Of course, no response. So just make sure here that when this is happening, that you are not leaving a door open for this nonsense. So you must remember love, true love is not about overextending yourself. It's not about removing your boundary to let people in and like vampire off you, even if they're your twin, maybe especially if they're your twin. And connection does not require you to abandon yourself. And this is what healers need to learn is that love and boundaries are definitely connected. If your twin is pulling on your energy without honoring your space, it's time to push back, but with love, to say, this energy needs to go. You need to go back to that person and you need to be integrated into their energy field and they need to begin to process their own emotions. So the boundaries aren't a wall. It still allows love through. And there's a sacred container that says, I love you, but I won't betray myself to hold you up. And it allows them to come into their own empowerment when you do that, so that they stop being like a child suckling on the mother. So this is what it needs to look like. You can energetically close a door by meditation, intentional cord cutting. You'll notice that your cord cutting won't work with your twin, but it might help to reduce some of the severe kind of over connecting. You can also say, I declare I release all energy that does not belong to me and I return it with love because I will not carry it. And maybe even say that I release the energy of my twin and I ask it to go back to them. I ask their angel, their spiritual team to help guide them into their own empowerment. And you can also say no, you can block them energetically. And there are ways you can do that if you come on my energy sovereignty course, which I run. I think the next one's going to be in September, 8 weeks online. We can go through all energy blocking and how to deal with that so that in the spiritual realm, you are very clearly setting a boundary with that person. And you are creating space for your own self to heal because you are not a battery for somebody else. And often the twin in the matrix is struggling, and they might have money issues. They might have problems with karmic exes. They might be all sorts of things might be going on. But actually, you are building your life. You are building your life, and you are building your strength, and you are not attached to them in that way that they can drain you like a battery. So you cannot rush the awakening of your twin, sadly. But by pushing their energy back to them, you're helping them begin to come into some realization where they can help themselves. You are not an emotional support system that is unpaid. You need to support yourself and you need to teach them how to support themselves. So the most loving thing you can do is kind of stop your energy leaking, not be the emotional sponge, and not mistaking chaos with that person for connection. So if your twin really is your mirror, then choosing self-respect will reflect them back to them in their life too. It helps them to release themselves from situations where they're not respecting themselves. So maybe your twin will come around in a way that feels like they've healed something, and that would be brilliant, wouldn't it? But either way, you are going to rise and you're not going to carry them. You've got to remember the twin flame dynamic is two flames side by side. They're not like two flames burning like this. They're two flames side by side, completely independent, but helping each other glow and light up the world. So maybe your twin will rise, maybe they won't, but you will rise. And if you protect your space and your peace, and you can say to your twin that I love you, because that is the truth, isn't it? That's the truth. But I also love myself and I choose to protect and honor myself until you are ready to come and protect and honor me as well. So I just want to say here that this can be very, very hard, but in the mirror with your twin, you are not a martyr. It's okay to call your energy back. It's okay to stand in your light and let them meet you there. Let you set the energetic frequency that's going to meet your connection. And only when they are ready and not before will they come back in. And if you allow them back in to drain you, to mess you around, to maybe even sleep with you and whatever else they're doing, then just know that you are creating more chaos for yourself. And if you can choose yourself and love yourself It's not separating you from your twin. It's about you choosing your sovereignty, and it teaches your twin to do the same. So if you liked this video and it didn't trigger you too much, then come join me on a twin flame workshop and just let yourself know that to protect your energy is a way of leading with love, and to never dim your light to keep someone else comfortable is a way that you can release yourself from all these codependent wounds that have held you back.